and welcome back. Today I'm going to give you a solution to leak-free nights with your babies, no nappies leaking. And my solution to that is maybe one that you're a bit dubious about, and that's wool nappy covers. So welcome to the complete guide to wool nappy covers. This is a wool nappy cover, and you might think it doesn't look like a nappy at all. It's basically, this one's called like a shorty. You can get longies, which are just like the full leg. So you could use those as pajamas. This just goes over one of these, an absorbent cloth nappy. You can add in extra boosters and inserts, which is why it makes it so brilliant for nighttime, because you can add more and more absorbency to whatever your child needs. So I have a really heavy wetting son, and because he's a boy, I had lots of extra absorbency at the front on top of this nappy, and then put this over the top. He does look like a bit of a sumo wrestler. He does look big in it and bulky, but actually it's a really, really comfortable solution for night times. So how can this bit of woolly material stop a nappy leaking at night? Well, it's because wool is naturally waterproof. It keeps the sheep in the fields warm and dry throughout the winter. And that's exactly what it's going to do for your baby. Though because it's breathable, they will keep baby cool in summer and then warm in winter. So you don't need to worry about that either if you live in a hotter place or during hot periods in the UK like we have sometimes. Then this actually keeps baby really cool, and I just put him in this alone, perhaps a t-shirt in the hot summer. So I think wool has 3 benefits and probably 2 cons. The first benefit is that you only need to wash it every few weeks. Believe it or not only is it naturally breathable and naturally waterproof, it is naturally antibacterial. So because it's not absorbing any of the wee, then you don't need to wash it very often. All you need to do is hang it up during the day when you're not using it and let it air. And that will get rid of any smells. It won't smell at all. You'll know when it needs washing when it starts to smell a bit, because that obviously means it's absorbing some of the bacteria. So just let it air in the day and it'll be ready to use again the next night. I actually like to have 2 so I can use them on alternate nights, and then obviously then I can use one while it's being washed as well, but that gives it an extra time to give it a bit of breathing, and if it does get a bit damp from very wet nights, then it's got a bit of extra time to dry as well, because they do take a little bit of time to dry sometimes. The second pro is that it's really soft and comfy for baby. Like I said, it's breathable, so it's going to be cool in summer and warm in winter. It's nice and soft, and just there's no elastics around like some cloth nappies have at night. The last benefit of it is that you can buy it fully organic. It's a really easy way if you want to buy organic natural materials, if that's important to you and you want to stay away from plastic nappies, then wool is a really good one to go with. This is a designer nappy and it is organic wool. Okay, now onto the cons. There's 2 cons. The first one is that they do need hand washing. Now, I'm going to show you how we do that today and what you need to do to hand wash it. It's really simple. It only takes me about 5 minutes. For some reason, I always put it off and I think, oh, I've got to wash the nappies, oh, it's going to take me ages. And it actually doesn't at all. So I wash them probably every 2 to 3 weeks. And that's all they need. You'll know, like I said, when they start to smell a bit, it can be a sign that they need washing. It could also be a sign that they need re-lanolizing, and that is my second con, is that they need to be lanolized. Again, you only need to do this very sporadically. I do mine probably every other time I wash it. So every 2 to 3 weeks I'll wash it, and then every 4 to 6 weeks I will lanolize them. Lanolizing means that you're adding pure lanolin, which is what is in sheep's wool that keeps it waterproof. You're going to add some extra back onto it. You do this, it's quite simple. I will go through the step-to-step guide. You're just melting some lanolin in hot water, mixing it with cool water and soaking your nappies in it and then letting them dry. So first off, we'll talk about how we wash the nappies. You're going to need a bowl of water. I just use our washing up bowl in our sink. We want to fill it with about water that is about 30 degrees, just lukewarm to touch. I'm not going to ask you to get your temperature gauge out, but just so it's lukewarm. This is because you don't want the hot water to felt the nappies. I can show you what felting looks like, and it's like this. Your nappy will still work if it felts. It can happen if you put it in a washing machine. That's what happened with this one. I was advised that you could put it on a wool wash and a gentle wash in the washing machine, and it didn't work. It'll also happen if you scrub the nappies too much and like the material gets too tight together, and if you use too hot water. So it still works, it's absolutely fine, but what happens is it becomes less stretchy. As you can see, compared to this newer one, which is nice and stretchy and I can fit it over baby nice and easily, this one isn't at all. Which is fine, because I did actually use this one for my daughter, and because it's now not stretchy and it's shrunk a little bit from the felting, I use it for my son now because he's smaller. So it's still fine, but obviously you don't want that to happen if you can avoid it. So lukewarm water, you want a big bowl. Then you can either buy wool soap, which you can buy at the Nappy Lady. I've got an affiliate link for that, so I'll leave a link for that below. That works quite well. It does come in a plastic bottle, so if you're bit zero waste, you might not want to go down that route. You can also use, which does actually work better, is just a natural vegetable oil soap or an olive soap, which is what I'm using here in the example. So just get the soap rubbed up in your hands if you're using a bar until the water becomes nice and cloudy. Then pop your nappies in. You can leave them to soak in it for a bit and make sure you turn them inside out so that the soap gets all over it, and just gently wash them around in the water. Then take them out, gently squeeze them out. Again, we're avoiding felting at all costs, so just gently squeeze the water out. Put them aside, fill the bowl again with fresh water, again, lukewarm water around 30 degrees, and just dip them in to rinse them out, doing the same thing, turning them over gently, and then squeeze them out gently. Now, if you're not lanonising them, you just need to hang them to dry. Squeeze out as much water as you can, and then I like to get a towel, put them in the towel, and then step on the towel so it squeezes out as much water as possible. This does it really gently, and as you do it, you can shape them so that they dry in the right shape. Then hang them to dry. Make sure you don't tumble dry for the exact same reason, no felting. Please don't also put them in direct sunlight, because that can also create felting. So don't put them out in the summer sun. Just hang them in a nice, cool, airy, dry place. If you're going to lanolise them, you then don't need to dry them in between. So you can go straight on to the next step, which is, again, filling your bowl of water with some clean water, about 30 degrees. You're going to get a cup of boiling water and put a teaspoon of the pure lanolin in the cup of boiling water until it melts. At this point, if you're using wool shampoo, you can put a tiny squeeze in the cup as well and mix it around until the water goes cloudy, because this helps it emulsify. So the lanolin is oily. You don't want the water and the lanolin to separate, because otherwise you'll get just bits of lanolin stuck on the nappies around. You want it to emulsify, so it's going to get all over, nicely coating it. If you're using a bar of soap, then you don't need to add it to the boiling water, because that would be a bit hard. So just make the water cloudy with some soap in the bowl you're going to use. Put the lanolin melted water from your cup straight into the bowl and give it a good mix around, so then it emulsifies in the bowl. Now, make sure that's not too hot from putting the boiling water in, but if it's cool water, then it should be a nice temperature now. Add in your wool nappy covers, just turning them over gently. Again, turn them inside out. Make sure they're getting nicely coated. You can leave them for a minimum of 10 minutes up to overnight if you've got the time, to make sure that the lanolin really soaks in. And then do the same step, take them out, squeeze them out. You don't need to rinse them. Squeeze them out gently as much as you can, put them in a towel and leave them to dry as we did before with just washing them. They may feel slightly sticky, that's fine. That will work its way. That's the lanolin on the outside. You may have used slightly too much, it doesn't matter. That will, as baby wears it, just work its way into the material and rub off, and that'll be fine within probably 1 or 2 wears. If you are lanonising a new nappy, you're going to need to do it a few times. So once it's at its full waterproofness, you'll only need to do it, as I said, probably every 4 to 6 weeks, maybe even up to 8 weeks. You'll know when this nappy starts to feel damp, then it's time for it to be re-lanonised. And I kind of find that's always every other wash, as I said. But for the first time Often nappies, when you buy them, say that they have already been lanolised and they're ready to use straight away. I find that they leak if you do this. So do it once when you first buy it before you use it on baby, and then you'll need to do it probably a couple of times a week for the first couple of weeks to make sure that they're at full, I don't know what the term is, full lanolisation? I'm not sure. To at their full capacity of waterproofness. So I recommend doing this not straight after you've lanolised it, because if you don't let it dry and baby wear it, then you're just going to be adding lanolin on top of lanolin. And here comes my baby to say hello as we do. A little crawler has crawled over to us. So you would just be putting lanolin on top of lanolin and it would end up coming very sticky. So what I recommend you doing, and what a lot of companies recommend you doing, is lanolise it once, let baby wear it once or twice, and then that will give the chance for the lanolin to work its way into the material nicely, and then lanolise it again after a couple of days, and do that 2, 3, even 4 times when you first buy it until it's at its full waterproofness, whatever word we're using for it, and then you'll be ready to go and you won't have to do it for quite a while. As you can see, this process really didn't take long. Like I said, I often put it off, but it really doesn't take long at all, does it? No. And that's it. That's all you need to do, and you'll be away with using your nappy covers, and you won't have to wash them very often. And like most parents, I was kind of a bit scared to use them. I looked at them and thought, how possibly can this keep all of my heavy wetting boys wee contained, especially when I take the nappy off the morning and it's really sodden. He sleeps quite well through the night, but also feeds a lot through the night, so his nappy's really wet in the morning, and it works. Any parent that uses them that I talk to, it's like, how did I not discover this before, and how they would never ever go back, and they're absolutely brilliant. So I really recommend you giving them a go. They're also quite a cost-effective way. One of these nappies costs, I think they're about 12 quid from Tisana. You can buy them on the Nappy Lady. Again, I will leave the link below. And because you only need a couple, so that you can leave one to air while you're using the other one, and then you can be using one while the other one's being washed. 2 is a nice number, and that's all you need. Whereas if you're using nappy wraps, you wash them every time and you might need a few more than that. So it is quite a good, cost-effective and organic and natural way, like I mentioned before. I hope you give wool a try, and this has given you the confidence to do that and shown you that it's really easy, nothing to worry about. And I hope you have a good day. Bye-bye. And say bye.